Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, everyone. My name is Keiara Gladney, and thank you for finding Mask Off, a Charity Movement podcast. I am your host, Keiara B. Gladney, and I am just really hopeful that today's podcast topic episode will encourage you, convict you, rebuke you, pinch you a little bit in order for you to have some self-examination. I really feel like this season has been filled with self-examination, transparency, and the push for growth in our natural, emotional, spiritual lives. And so I have been really thinking about this episode, especially since last week I decided to kind of take a pause in order to evaluate and look at myself and meditate on God's word and allow his word to encourage me and nourish me during this season of my life. And so season 4 started off with us talking about transition and growth and marriage and success and forgiveness and all of these areas. But today I would love for us to talk about a recovering strong friend. So we see a lot of times where, post on Instagram, post on Facebook, post on social media in general, always tells you to check on your strong friends, right? Check on your strong friends, make sure they're okay, make sure they have what they need, because a lot of times they don't vocalize when they are in a battle by themselves and they need someone to carry them. And so the week before last, I started making notes in my phone about this topic because I wanted to talk about tales from a recovering strong friend. I identify as a recovering strong friend. I am the friend that will go without in order for you to have what you need. I'm a friend that I may not talk to all of my close friends every day, but when I check in and I make sure they have what they need and they know that I love them, and if they need me, they can call me, and that if the Lord speaks to me about them, I am going in on making sure that they are okay. I am a strong friend that does not always disclose what is going on with me. And actually, I've heard this in the past year of when I'm checking in with some of my friends. They're like, okay, well now let me check in on you. And then a couple of my friends have made it their business to articulate that they don't feel like I invite them in enough to really be effective in friendship. And so then that allows for me to examine the type of friend that I am. Am I a type of friend that thinks I am only supposed to give and I'm not supposed to ever receive anything in return? Am I a type of friend that does not allow for others to do anything for me? Am I resistant to reciprocity in friendship? And so I had to sit down and really start thinking about it, especially in this season where I can be very honest in saying that I need support in this season of my life. Like, I sometimes don't even know how to articulate that I need support in this season of my life. While I am not depressed, while I am not stressed out, I have felt overwhelmed emotionally, mentally, with everything going on in this season of my life, because it is just things that you cannot control. And so, of course, my first response is to go to God and say, hey, I'm casting all of my care upon you because I don't know what to do. But the secondary thing is to then allow for God to send me, which he has, friends, people that I can trust to hold me up, to fight for me spiritually, to ask how I am emotionally and be there for me. And I don't know if I've always done a great job at accepting that, because earlier in my life, I just did not have consistent friends to where I felt like they cared about my overall well-being. Now, when I got to high school and then college, that is when God really started sending me the creme de la creme of friends and support. But before that, I really didn't have people, and I was raised with my siblings are my best friends, and you don't have friends in this life because people just don't care about you. That's how I was raised. So I was just very resistant to what friendships really were because I didn't really have that until, like I said, I got to high school and then college. So I thought about a scripture in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 and 10, which says, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. So that tells us a lot, that 2 are better than 1, which means that you cannot live this life in an isolated state. You cannot be by yourself on a plateau and think that you'll be successful and whole and peaceful and happy, all of these things. It is not saying that a person cannot exist and be well by themselves. It is just saying, again, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the other will lift up his fellow. So when you are in a fall, not saying that you've fallen into sin, but when you are in a place of lowliness, when you are in a place of sadness, when you are going through grief or disappointment or overwhelmingness, there's somebody that will lift you up. And not only that, but it is saying, woe or attention, beware of him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not help to help him up. And so I have to always connect myself and make sure that I am aligning with the word of God. The word of God is telling me to beware of those who fall by themselves, which means beware of those people that want to walk alone or are isolated, because when you fall, there will be no one to help you up. And so I am grateful for the individuals who have been there in this season of my life to hold me up, because I cannot imagine what this season and other seasons would have been like without those people. So I think about the mindset of a strong friend, okay? Because maybe some people can hear from my heart. They can hear where I've been, how I am. And so that we in this season, especially for this season of this podcast, we are intentional about betterment. I want spiritual betterment, mental betterment, emotional betterment, physical betterment, all of those things. And so that strong friend mentality is so volatile to your overall well-being, because to think that you are in this life to exist, to give everyone else help and support and a voice and validation, but no one is supposed to give you that because you won't accept it. It is such a painful state of mind. It is such a painful state of mind to think that you were only put on this earth to be strong for other people, but no one be strong for you. And it's not even the fact that no one wants to be strong for you. You won't allow people to be strong for you. And it kind of goes back to a couple episodes ago where Jennifer Dungy talked about the crippling state of trauma and hurt, and how throughout some of our lives we have been hurt in friendships or relationships, even if they weren't romantic. And it causes us to have some guardrails that are invisible. It's like barbed wire around our intentions or around expectations, where there's a limit that we want our expectations to go with friendships, even though the people around us haven't shown anything but support to us. And so a lot of times, number one, we have to go to God and ask God to heal those places in our hearts that don't want to be open to other people who have shown us no deception, who have shown us no inconsistency. But we feel like we don't want to put our all into it because we don't want to be hurt or let down or disappointed. That's number one. The other thing, I am not the first one, because I truly believe that the people that are around me that God has given me are trustworthy, they're supportive, they're there for me. I am number two. And the number two person is the person that says, I don't want to overwhelm another person with what I have going on, because I know other people have things going on as well. I know other people are grieving. I know other people are overwhelmed. The women in my life are mothers and wives and business women and entrepreneurs, and some are pastors' wives and ministers' wives. And I know they have so many other things going on. The same as me. A lot of our parents are going through sickness, having infirmity, going through mental challenges. A lot of our families are having children that may have special abilities. And so I don't want to give unnecessary stress to my friends. And that is what God revealed to me while I have been in this quiet place of being a recovering strong friend. I am number two. I'm not the person that thinks that my friends are not strong enough to hold me up, or they're not, spiritual enough to hold me up. I'm not that person. I'm the person that says I love my friends enough to where I don't want to overwhelm them with what I have going on, because I know they have a lot going on as well. And they need to focus on what they have going on, and I can just figure out what's going on with me. I don't get to make that decision for my friends. And I just realized that last week. It only took me almost 31 years, and that's on period. But I learned that last week. I don't get to tell my friends what they should be disclosed to when they are my friends. I don't get to say, especially when I have very, very close friends that love me and I love them, and they give to me and I give to them. I don't get to tell my friends, I know you got a lot going on, so I'm going to decide this for you. And while I have the best intentions, I don't think that that's fair. And I know that they don't think that that's fair. So let me say to all of you out there that are my close friends, I apologize, because the Lord just revealed that to me, that I don't get to do that, especially when a friend is a friend at all times, right? And so when God shows you something like that, I thank God for that, because it shows that, of course, we still feel his conviction. But number two, God is always trying to bring us from faith to faith and from glory to glory. And sometimes in the midst of our trials and tribulations, sometimes we can't see past the situation or what we deem as important or what we see as the right or more effective way. But I thank God for showing me that, because I am a recovering strong friend, and there are other recovering strong friends that are like me, and they are saying, I don't want my friends to be overwhelmed. They don't need to have another thing on their list of things to talk about or think about or console me about. But I think that that is a very selfish way of thinking. I also think that that is a very prideful way of thinking, because you're strong enough to deal with it, but they're not. Who are you? You're not any stronger than they are. You just show it differently, or lack of showing it differently. And so I think that we all have to evaluate the way that we view ourselves and the way that we view the people around us. Because sometimes we look at the people around us as fragile or as sensitive to the point that they can't hold us up in the same way or view that we've held them up. And I also think that too is not fair. I don't get to tell someone what the limit that they can handle. They get to tell me when the limit is too much. They get to tell me when they cannot offer support. And I, in our friendship, does not take it personal. I cannot take it personal. I mean, I can decide to take it personal, but I shouldn't take it personal when you know someone's character. And so for me, and I've had these conversations with my friends in the past, and I used to be like, well, I don't want you to take it personal. Like, this is just how I have been. And there's two things wrong with that. I said, I don't want you to take it personal because this is the way that I've been. The first thing wrong with that is you don't get to tell somebody when you include or not include them in something that they shouldn't take it personal. They have the right to react however they want to react, right? All of us do. The second thing is, just because that is the way that I've handled things in friendships and situations should not be the only way, because that might not be the right way, and it's not the right way. And so even as an adult with good friends, very good friends, even in adulthood, you can have very good friends that don't stress you out, friends with no drama, friends you won't have to gossip with, none of that stuff. Quality friendships. You can have all of that, and in your adulthood, you have to still learn how to be a good friend in a different season. The way that I was a friend at 16 with my best friend is different than the way that I am a friend with my best friend at 30, 31. There's a different level of friendship because there's a different level of situations and circumstances. At this point, we're both having aging parents with ailments, or losing parents, or families and spouses and jobs and career changes and hardship and health challenges and complications and all of this stuff, which then takes us into the ebbs and flows of friendships and not just, the birth and invigoration of a budding friendship. Now we're going through the trenches. Now we're going through the valleys. Now we're going through the mountains. Now we're going through the achievements, but we're also going through the disappointments. Now we're going through the fears and the loss and the growth and the growing pains and the distance and all of these things. But true friendship extends beyond what is convenient, and it holds on to what is valuable. And when you have a friend that values you, and I have, like I said, some amazing friends. I have a friend and her husband who is my brother. So I look at them as my sister and brother, who have so many things going on. Her husband is a preacher. She's a mom of 2. She's a recent graduate. She's going for her master's. She's a working mom. She's also an entrepreneur with several endeavors. And they heard that we were coming down for 4th of July for something to check on my dad. And they were like, oh, we'll bring you dinner. We'll see you guys tonight. We'll bring you dinner. Out of all the things that you have going on. And I'm like, at this point, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to us. We don't make a big fuss about it. It's okay either way. Like, don't stress, don't worry. And I just left it at that because, again, I don't take things personal like that. I understand what it looks like to have 12 things to do. And, just knowing that, you only have 24 hours in a day and sometimes things just don't happen the way you plan. This girl had a full meal. They had a full meal for us. And it brought tears to my eyes because, people don't have to make a space for you in their lives. They don't have to. They don't have to make a space for you in their day to give you anything. But the fact that my friend went above and beyond to support me and to love me and to show this level of support because she knows the things that we have experienced in the last few months is just an indicator of the caliber of friendships that I have. And I value it so much because I've realized it all my life. I have gone through a lot of things throughout my life. And I've always realized that life is as a vapor. And before you know it, it can be just taken like that. I appreciate these things even more now because time just goes by so fast. And memories can sometimes be the only thing that you hold on to about a person. And so I don't take anything for granted. I don't take any conversation, any text message, any greeting for granted. And so it makes me look at the way that I have defined myself as a strong friend and says that I am a friend that has always wanted to be supportive of other people. But I don't know if I'm not going to say required for people to always support me, but I don't know if I've always said, I am open to my friends showing up for me. And I hope I say that the right way. I have just been raised to say, if you want to be a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. And if you're a real friend, you're going to show up. You're going to be there for your friend. And so I've always been raised with that mindset, be a good friend, show up for your friend as much as you can. Make sure that they know that you love them and show them that you love them. But I don't know if I've always embraced the idea of my friends having to show up for me because I never wanted to give off the expectation that they had to do anything to be deserving of my love. And I think that the Lord is trying to revamp that mindset. He's trying to change me in that regard because, Jesus is a friend that sticketh closer than any brother. And so in order for me to really accept all the facets of Jesus in my life, I know that it is indicative to even looking at the relationships around me and how I am accepting or resistant to the level of love, support, attention that my friends are giving me in this season. It is weird. It is different. I've been in different seasons of my life where I have needed desperately for my friends to hold me up in different losses, especially losing a child or losing those things. But this season is really different because, again, it's another season of my life that I can't control. I can't control what's going on with my dad. I can't control what's going on with my parents. I can't control what is happening in our country. But I can control with the Holy Ghost the type of battles that I'm fighting in my mind. I can control that, right? And when I become overwhelmed, I can always pick up the phone or, reach out and have a text message. And I actually had a friend over the weekend that was like, checking in on me, asked me, did I need anything? And I'm like, girl, can I just be honest? Like, I'm not giving you any information about what's going on with me, because you got a lot going on. And I don't want to inconvenience you with what's going on with me, because I know that you are just one person and you are battling things in your household with your family. And I don't feel like I want to overwhelm you. Like, that's just not my intention. And my friend was like, that's the exact same way I feel about you. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to be there for you. And I'm like, well, I want to be there for you. So we're like, well, we need to be there for each other, but we also need to share. And I have committed to doing a better job at sharing. And in the chapter of my book, Take Off the Mask, that I wrote in 2020, there's a chapter that talks about okay-itis and the I'm okay syndrome, and how people will say I'm okay when people ask, how are you, instead of being honest. And I'm not talking about giving all your business to somebody that you don't know. But I'm saying that when someone that you trust is saying, are you okay, you should not respond with, yeah, I'm good. No, I'm not good. I just want you to know I'm not good, because I know the people that are asking me, am I okay? They're really invested in my overall well-being, and they're asking me because they can see something, but they just don't know what it is. They can't identify what I am currently dealing with. And so instead of me covering it up with, a flimsy I'm okay and having this internal battle, I can share it with my friend so that I don't fall by myself. Because it's some battles by yourself. When you're fighting mentally, emotionally, spiritually by yourself, and you're not asking somebody to intercede on your behalf, now that's a battle I no longer want to fight. I've had battles by myself. In my mind, in my emotions, spiritual battles that I couldn't get out of, wars in my mind that I could not fight out of. But God allowed someone to call me, to text me, to come over, to visit me, to say, I'm not going to let you die where you are. I've learned from that. I'm not staying in that place anymore. And that's why I say I'm a recovering strong friend. I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to live my life independent of support. I do not want to live that way. There's no glory living that way. Trust me, there's nothing great living in a space where you do not want help, you do not look for help, you do not look for support, you don't look for effective friendships. It's just not a peaceful place to be. And I am embracing the fact that whatever I am dealing with in this season is not a burden to the friends that God has given me. And throughout my life, I have never wanted to be a burden. I've never wanted to be a burden to my parents. I've never wanted to be a burden to my siblings. I never want to be a burden to my spouse. I don't want to be a burden to anyone. But I especially don't want to be a burden to my friends, because I love them. They don't have to be my friends. They choose to be my friends. We choose to be each other's friends. It's a beautiful thing. And I value it. And so God is just really reassuring me beautifully in this season that it is not a burden for somebody who loves me to be a friend to me. And so it is a journey that I feel like not only I am on, but a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast have been on. So I want you to know that even in ministry, when God sends you a friend, it is for you to walk together. It is not for you to only be a friend to them, but they are called to be a friend to you. And so when you walk together in agreement, things can happen. God will bless. God will bring so many inventions and innovation into the room when you're with one accord. And so even in trials and tribulations, when God sends you people that will intercede on your behalf, that will be with you, that will help to hold you up, it is a blessing. It is such a blessing. And so I don't want us to take that for granted in this season. I don't want us to go through life thinking that we are only supposed to be here on our own, especially for those of us that are in ministry and we're mothers or parents and we are, in corporate America or working, and we are, entrepreneurs, and we got things going on. You need somebody. You don't need to be on this plateau by yourself, because that's where the enemy starts putting things in your mind. This is where he starts putting in doubts and fears and worry and anxiety and all that stuff. And we're not going for that in this year. Okay, we're in July. We're not going for that. And so we need to be focused. We need to be focused on what God is calling us to do, and we cannot allow that strong friend mindset to deter us from collaboration and help. You need help. In this season, you need help. You don't need to try to survive on your own. You can thrive with your village. You need help. I look at that even in me mothering our boys. I need help. And I ask for help. When I need somebody to support me, I just reach out because, if they say no, they say no. But it's not going to be without me requesting it. And, I've never heard a no so far, so thank God. But you need help. And if you don't have a friend, if you've always been the strong friend and you don't have friends that, give reciprocity, pray for it. When I didn't have friends, I asked God to give me one. And my first real best friend, I got in the 10th grade. And she's my best friend to this day. But I'm grateful for it because I don't think I had real friends before that. And I don't think I really knew what that was. And so I'm grateful for that. I am grateful for you. I hope that we are all on this journey. For those of us who are recovering strong friends, we're all on this journey together. You are not alone. You're not by yourself. If you have questions about how I am managing scriptures that I am using to meditate, you can send them to me, okay, at charitymovement1@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook. My name is Keiara B. Gladney, or on the Charity Movement, Instagram or Facebook. But I'm so excited about what God is doing in this season. In spite of everything else that's going on, I'm grateful that God is moving us forward and He's doing great things in our lives. And I hope you know that He's doing great things for you. If you've not done so already, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Charity Movement, that you like and share this video with somebody that needs to hear this, especially somebody that is a recovering strong friend. Okay, if you or someone you know are one, send them my way. Okay, I can help. But I really love you. I hope that you're encouraged by all that is being done on this channel and every episode that is being sent out. I'm going to do a part 2 of this episode, and I'm going to bring some of my friends along with me, and they are going to read into me and other people. Hello, we need to get some help. Okay, and correction is good. Correction is good for us in 2025. I love you. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And remember that the only one stopping you is you. See you soon.